There comes a moment in every person's life when silence becomes unbearable. Not the outer silence, but the inner silence that comes from swallowing your power, from dimming your brilliance, from pretending you are less capable, less deserving, or less important than you truly are. This silence becomes a weight on the soul. It presses on your chest when you wake up. It drags behind you as you walk through the day. It whispers at night, asking why you shrink when life keeps begging you to rise. The Stoics warned that the greatest tragedy is not death, failure, or rejection. It is self-betrayal. They believe that every time you lower yourself, every time you let someone treat you beneath your worth, every time you say yes when your soul screams no, you fracture your own spirit. You lose a piece of yourself, and eventually, after enough small deaths, you become unrecognizable even to the person in the mirror. This script is about reclaiming that person. This is about remembering the dignity you were born with, the dignity that life tried to bury under fear, shame, comparison, disappointment, and self-doubt, but never succeeded in destroying. The Stoics believe that dignity is not earned through validation. It is revealed when a person finally decides to stop lowering themselves. This is that moment for you. This is where you stop acting like your presence is optional. This is where you stop treating your worth like a bargain. This is where you stop shrinking to fit places you've outgrown. This is where you stop apologizing for existing. You are not here to be small. You are here to stand with truth, purpose, and unshakable inner weight. The kind of weight that comes not from arrogance, but from self-command. The kind of weight that makes people pause when you enter a room, not because you demand attention, but because your energy speaks before your mouth does. The Stoics taught that your life begins the moment you decide to live with intention, and intention begins with the refusal to lower yourself ever again. If you are ready for that transformation, if you are ready to build a mind capable of commanding its own destiny, then subscribe to this channel. Every video, every script, every reflection here is crafted to sharpen your mind, deepen your power, and reawaken the dignity that life tried to silence. This is your story now, a story of rising, a story of reclaiming your importance, a story of building a life worthy of your potential. Let us begin. 1. Respect yourself before you expect respect. The world does not decide your worth. People do not decide your worth. Your circumstances do not decide your worth. You decide your worth. And the painful truth is this. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. If you lower yourself, others will step on you. If you tolerate disrespect, others will give you more. If you shrink your standards, others will shrink their effort. If you silence your needs, others will become deaf to your voice. The Stoics believe that dignity is the foundation of the good life. Not pride, not ego, dignity. They believed that human beings are born with a kind of internal royalty, a sacredness that must be protected, even when the world does not recognize it. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a person who respects themselves becomes unreachable by insult, unaffected by disrespect, and immune to the opinions of the crowd. But self-respect is not a feeling. Self-respect is a discipline. It is the discipline of walking away from anything that dulls your spirit. It is the discipline of speaking truth even when your voice shakes. It is the discipline of saying no without guilt. It is the discipline of prioritizing yourself without apology. When you respect yourself, you stop lowering yourself for friendships that drain you. You stop chasing relationships that confuse you. You stop trying to impress people who don't even respect themselves. You stop fighting for places that never fought for you. Self-respect is quiet, but unmistakable. It shows in your posture, your tone, your pace, your presence. A self-respecting person does not beg, does not plead, does not over-explain, does not justify their existence. They move with clarity. They move with purpose. They move with the knowledge that nothing external can take away what they have built internally. The Stoics taught that if you want a powerful life, you must first build a powerful inner court, a set of rules, values, and standards that no one can drag you below. Most people live with outer standards, how they look, how much money they make, how others see them. The Stoic lives with inner standards, how they behave, how they think, how they treat themselves when no one else is watching. A person who respects themselves becomes magnetic, not because of charisma, but because of conviction, not because of charm, but because of certainty, not because they shine brighter, but because they bend less. Respecting yourself is not a destination. It is a lifetime of daily corrections. Every day you must ask, am I betraying myself or honoring myself? Am I accepting crumbs or demanding the feast of my life? Am I shrinking or expanding? Am I dimming my light or letting it burn? Self-respect requires courage. Courage to be disliked. Courage to disappoint the wrong people. Courage to outgrow environments you once needed. Courage to choose yourself. When you finally develop this courage, the world reacts differently to you. People who once ignored your boundaries will feel the shift and either rise to meet you or fall out of your life. People who once underestimated you will recognize the quiet storm within you. People who once walked over you will be forced to walk around you. If these truths resonate with you, subscribe to this channel. Each week, you'll receive cinematic reflections like this, reminders to protect your energy, honor your presence, and live intentionally, not reactively. Self-respect is not just the first Stoic lesson. It is the key that unlocks every other lesson in this script. Without it, nothing else stands. With it, nothing can shake you. 2. Protect your energy like ITIS sacred. There is a sacred resource that many people throw away without thought, without awareness, without reverence. It is more precious than money, more powerful than reputation, more transformative than opportunity. It is the engine behind every goal, every dream, every change, every victory. That resource is your energy. The Stoics knew that time is life's outer limit, but energy is life's inner fuel. Time without energy is useless. Opportunity without energy is wasted. Knowledge without energy is dormant. Potential without energy is dead. Most people do not lose because they are incapable. They lose because they are drained. Not physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Drained by chaos, drained by people, drained by distractions, drained by meaningless obligations, drained by battles that never should have been fought. Stoicism teaches that you must guard your inner power with the same seriousness a king guards the gates of his kingdom. Because if your energy falls, your entire life falls. Your relationships suffer. Your work weakens. Your creativity dissolves. Your confidence fades. Your discipline crashes. Your clarity disappears. Your purpose becomes blurry. Your energy is everything. But here is the truth most people fear to confront. Your energy is not being stolen. You are giving it away. You give it away every time you chase someone who is running from you. Every time you argue to prove a point that does not matter. Every time you spend time with people who drain your spirit. Every time you stay in places that suffocate your soul. Every time you attach yourself to things beneath your potential. Every time you fight battles that are not your battles. The Stoics believe that unnecessary emotional entanglement is one of the biggest sources of wasted life. They taught that your energy must be directed inward first, toward self-mastery, toward clarity, toward building a mind that cannot be easily shaken. Imagine your energy like a flame. If you expose it to the wrong winds, it flickers. If you place it in the wrong hands, it weakens. If you let anyone close without discernment, it dies. But when you protect it, feed it, direct it, it becomes a blaze capable of lighting your entire life. Protecting your energy means you start to understand that not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves your time. Not everyone deserves your concern. Not everyone deserves your kindness. Not everyone deserves your explanation. You must become selective, not out of arrogance, but out of wisdom. Because you cannot build a powerful life around people who live in weakness. You cannot build a disciplined life around people who thrive on chaos. You cannot build a dignified life around people who crave drama. You cannot build a focused life around people who worship distraction. When you stop protecting your energy, you stop protecting your destiny. The Stoics believe that tranquility, true inner peace, is not found in isolation, but in disciplined attention. Meaning you must choose carefully what you think about, who you listen to, where you place your focus, what you allow into your mind, because everything affects your energy. Everything either strengthens you or weakens you. Everything either sharpens your character or dulls it. Your energy is a currency, and everyday life asks you one question. What will you spend it on? Spend it on your dreams, and they grow. Spend it on your habits, and they transform you. Spend it on your healing, and you rise. Spend it on your purpose, and you expand. But spend it on the wrong people, and you collapse. Spend it on pointless fights, and you shrink. Spend it on temporary pleasures, and you decay. Spend it on those who drain you, and you disappear. Protecting your energy is the ultimate Stoic discipline because it forces you to live intentionally, not reactively. It requires you to pause, observe, and decide from a place of strength, not impulse. It demands that you refuse to let life pull you in every direction. It requires you to take ownership of your inner world. A powerful life comes from a protected spirit. A protected spirit comes from a disciplined mind. A disciplined mind comes from guarding your energy. The moment you decide to stop giving your energy to chaos, your entire life changes direction. Protecting your energy is the ultimate discipline. And if you want more guidance on building a life aligned with your power, clarity, and purpose, consider subscribing, because these reflections are designed to remind you daily of what truly matters. 3. Never apologize for your standards. Your standards are invisible rulers that govern your life. They determine what you accept, who you allow near you, and how far you will rise. Every compromise weakens your position. Every lowering of your expectations dims the energy of your being. The Stoics believed that life is lived on the foundation of principle, not whim, not convenience, not popularity. Principle. Your standards are principles made visible. They are the blueprint of the life you are willing to tolerate and the life you are unwilling to settle for. When you apologize for your standards, you relinquish power. You create space for compromise, inconsistency, and disrespect. You teach the world that your dignity is negotiable. You invite disappointment. You invite mediocrity. But courage is required to live by uncompromising standards. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the mind must be trained like a soldier's weapon, precise, disciplined, and unyielding. This means you honor your boundaries, defend your values, and refuse to conform to the low expectations of others. Some will leave. Let them. Some will resist. Let them. Some will feel insulted by your rise. Let them. Their inability to honor your standards is a reflection of their own weakness, not yours. Living without apology for your standards requires daily vigilance. Every morning ask, am I honoring myself today? Am I holding the line even when it is uncomfortable? Am I compromising my energy, my values, or my potential for the sake of acceptance? When you answer honestly, you begin to see a truth the world often hides. The only person who can diminish your worth is you. No one else has that power. Your standards are sacred. They are not a privilege to negotiate. They are the walls of your inner kingdom. And kingdoms that compromise their walls invite ruin. By refusing to apologize for your standards, you reclaim ownership over your life. You no longer live at the mercy of chaos, drama, or the low expectations of others. You create a sphere where only alignment, respect, and purpose thrive. Your standards are sacred, and protecting them is an act of power. And if you want more Stoic reminders that guide you to uphold your standards and strengthen your dignity daily, subscribing to this channel ensures you are supported in your journey. 4. Walk alone when necessary. There are times in life when the path of growth demands solitude. When the world expects you to conform, compromise, or shrink, the Stoic understands that walking alone is not punishment, it is preparation. Most people fear being alone. They cling to distraction, noise, approval, and empty connections because solitude feels like rejection. But the Stoics taught that true growth is forged in isolation. It is in the quiet moments, away from the opinions, expectations, and demands of others, that a person discovers who they are, unshaped by the pressures of the crowd. To walk alone is to stand firm in your identity. To walk alone is to refuse to lower yourself for comfort or validation. To walk alone is to honor your dignity over social ease. Epictetus reminded us that external circumstances are not what define us. Our choices do. Choosing solitude when it aligns with your values, even if it is uncomfortable, strengthens your character in ways company never can. The world may not understand why you step back. Let it be so. Solitude is the crucible where self-respect is refined, purpose is clarified, and courage is awakened. Walking alone does not make you weak. It makes you unshakable. Walking alone does not make you lonely. It strengthens your foundation. If you want cinematic reminders that guide you in embracing solitude and mastering your path with dignity, subscribe now to ensure you receive lessons designed to strengthen your inner fortress and cultivate clarity. 5. Become unshakable by mastering your inner world. Life is unpredictable. Circumstances shift. People change. Plans fall apart. The world will never fully align with your desires. Yet, the Stoics teach that your power lies not in controlling the world, but in controlling yourself. Your inner world, your thoughts, your reactions, your choices, is always within your command. When you master it, nothing external can diminish you. When you control your reactions, nothing can provoke you. When you control your habits, nothing can derail you. Many people spend their lives reacting to every slight disappointment or challenge. They are tossed by every wind, carried by every wave, and shaken by every storm. They lower themselves daily, not by others' hands, but by their own inability to remain steady. A Stoic understands that peace is not found in the absence of difficulty, but in the presence of mastery. Marcus Aurelius wrote that no one can take from you what you do not surrender. And what you do not surrender is your inner power, Mastering your inner world requires discipline. Observe your thoughts without attachment. Respond to events with intention rather than impulse. Build habits that reinforce strength, clarity, and resilience. Cultivate a mind that chooses calm over chaos, presence over distraction, and dignity over reaction. When you achieve this, you become unshakable. You cannot be lowered because your foundation is untouchable. Others' disrespect slides off. Life's chaos no longer dictates your state, and you move through the world with a quiet, commanding presence. If you want cinematic guidance to strengthen your inner fortress, control your reactions, and cultivate unshakable presence, subscribing ensures you receive lessons that build mastery, dignity, and clarity in your life. You have walked through the lessons of self-respect, energy protection, unwavering standards, solitude, and inner mastery. You have seen the truth that life will never lower you unless you permit it. Now it is time to live it. Rise each day with purpose. Guard your energy like a treasure. Refuse to compromise your standards for temporary comfort. Walk alone when necessary. Master your inner world. Let your presence be your statement. Let your silence be your voice. Let your dignity be your armor. The Stoics remind us that the greatest battles are fought in the mind, and the strongest victories are internal. External chaos may roar, people may challenge you, and circumstances may shift. But a person who is unshakable inside cannot be diminished outside. If this message resonates with you, subscribe to this channel. Each week, you will receive cinematic Stoic reflections designed to sharpen your mind, elevate your presence, and help you build a life aligned with your highest potential. This is your life, your power, your responsibility. Stand tall, walk with clarity, guard your fire, honor yourself, and the world will recognize only what you allow it to. Strength, dignity, and clarity are cultivated one day at a time. Start today. Commit to the discipline. Commit to your presence. Commit to yourself.